Hello, everybody. Michael Jaco with Unleashing Intuition Secrets in the red tinted windowed room. Right, so it's pretty cool room because I've got a nice view all around. So, but right behind me, you see that empty lot. That's one of over the last many years. Las Vegas has been tearing down up to 33 major landmark hotels, the Mirage, the Sands, all kinds of, once high end hotels, casinos, and so forth. And change is very, very prominent here. So the destruction, you can go online and see some of these casinos, dropped into their footprint, kind of like 9/11 type. And they just implode. Same as 9/11 buildings. It's amazing. They got the technology, right? So, been using it for quite some time. And they, right behind me, they just took out this huge, look at that, how large that is. That's huge. Huge. It must have been tens of thousands of rooms at one time for that big landmark hotel. Now, it's just, those buildings behind me and like 100 others. so they change. So change is very important here in Las Vegas. Something starts to get out of favor with the public. They tear it down and build something else that's going to be more impressive. So of course the food here is phenomenal, and you can eat like 5-star for every meal, 3 times a day or 4 times a day or however long you want to stay up. But it is it's pretty impressive. So you're in the Flamingo back in 2000, probably demolished now, maybe. So I think it was. I think the Flamingo's gone. But yeah, lots of them. Some of them I've been to. Mike's become a pinko. No way. Funny guys, keep joke around. It's cool. So there's many different ways to make money in this world, and there's lots of ways to lose money in this world. If you come here to gamble, most of you are going to lose money, right? And that's what keeps this place going. So one of the things that's hurting this place is the economy is going down, and when people are, trying to, maintain whatever little bit of money they still have coming in, they're not going to go gamble, right? It's one of the first things that goes. So I can tell you, cruising around here, there's not a lot of people here, right? Tourism's not very high. So of course I'm here. I was here yesterday on a Monday and a Tuesday, maybe the weekend's a little bit better, but not a lot of people here, right? Maybe on the weekends, but I'm not going to be here on a weekend. I'll be heading out. Now, I was at the Bellagio, I don't know, a couple months ago or something like that, passing through, stayed there. And it was very nice. I talked to one of the guys there and he said, yeah, even during COVID, we were like busy, but all the other, hotels, casinos were pretty much shut down, but the Bellagio kept going. And the Bellagio's, still spectacular. Great food there, great rooms, so forth. So some of these hotels, casinos will survive, but probably a lot of them won't. Now, one of the things we're going to talk about is when oil prices go up, the economy goes down, or the stock market goes down, the economy goes down, and silver goes boom, right? Every time. How about that? So we've been predicting this for a while now, and it is happening. Now, silver goes through, spikes, pullbacks, spikes higher, pullbacks, spikes higher again, and this is the way of silver, right? And as oil prices spike, it drains more money, the last vestiges of money from the economy, because it's probably already been drained. And I'm going to show you throughout time, how these spikes happen in the oil price, market collapse, silver spike. Oil price hike, market collapse, silver spike. right? Over and over and over. So all the way through time, all the way back to the 1800s. It's like, you're like, there was oil back then? Yeah, but it wasn't as prominent, and it wasn't as, useful and needed as it is today. What else is very much prominent and more needed than any time in its history? Silver, right? So, and this is not full on talk about the economy, although it could be, and probably should be, but Trump says negotiations are ongoing currently. So this is the second day that we've known about these negotiations. Maybe they started this weekend. Maybe they're not even happening, right? Or maybe which is probably going on is somebody is negotiating, but everybody else doesn't know anything about it or doesn't care because it's fractured. So the Iranian leadership is completely fractured. This is usually what happens with these crazy, they're crazy. These crazy nomads that decided to park their camels and get some, pump some oil and get all this power and money and all this craziness. But so negotiation claims, Trump asserts that discussions are taking place, indicating a willingness from Iran to negotiate. Iran's response: Iranian officials have denied that any negotiations are occurring, labeling Trump's statements as misinformation. Yeah, that sounds like there's some fractured shit going on there. So pretty typical of Middle Eastern, leadership. Market reactions. Trump's comments have influenced global markets, leading to a drop in oil prices and a positive response from stock markets. Well, that was yesterday. All right. On Friday, I said we may see a pop in the stock market on Monday, which we got. Then it started to pull back because oil started to recover from its sharp drop. They're like, oil was skeptical. Today, oil was still skeptical. Oil went up, stock market went down. Oil goes up, stock market goes down. All right. So you're like, well, silver's going down too. Silver does that. It does that. And at some point, just like when we had the COVID pandemic, and we saw the stock market crash, silver crash very briefly, and then went to incredible highs, and then kind of went sideways for a little while, a couple of years, and then it went down to $17 an ounce. And that was when Dr. Elliott and I were jumping up and down. It's like, please buy it, buy it with everything you got. And so since then, we've seen almost a 10x spike. All right. So we will see a 10x and beyond spike, because it always happens when oil spikes. Silver markets go down, silver goes up. All right. You can just follow along because you've heard me say it enough times, right? And once it's ingrained into your mind, and when you see it, you're like, oh yeah, I don't know how I know that, but I know that because it's going to be in your mind. So I'm not an MK Ultra guy, but I can put in good information into your brain if you allow it. So let's look at a few more things. So what does Mike say? What does Mike say about, I said yesterday, I don't trust these guys. I've dealt with them for decades, and they usually lie, right? They lie until they're gone, right? And then they don't lie anymore because they're dead. That's the only time they stop lying, right? That's the only thing that, and I'm not talking about all Middle Easterners. I'm talking about the baddies, right? The baddies will lie until they're dead, right? Just like the ones here in the United States. They're going to lie and lie and lie. And then once they're basically busted and ready to go to Guantanamo, they're gonna cry and try and get people's emotions. And please, I didn't know that I was forcing the vaccine on all those people and they all died. I didn't know. So we're gonna see a lot of these people go bye-bye. All right, they're gonna go bye-bye. And so Pentagon, what are my thoughts? I think it's a lie. And Trump is basically going, hey, yeah, we're negotiating because there's a little remnant of truth there, a little remnant, a little sliver, right? And so he's grasping on that while troops move into place, right? What happened today? Now, I've said this for a little while. I said probably well over a week, maybe 10 days ago, I said, I don't know. I think that maybe we'll see some 82nd Airborne guys go to the Middle East, and maybe with my remote viewing, and maybe we'll see them land on the shore of Hormuz and start to, kick some serious ass, right? And get that strait opened. Pentagon today. Pentagon prepares to send another 3,000 troops to the Middle East. The decision to move the Army's 82nd Airborne Division to the region heightens the possibility U.S. troops will enter Iran. Now, where will they go? They will go to Saudi Arabia. And I don't know that for sure, but I think that Saudi Arabia, because they just recently said, Trump, keep kicking some ass, right? They said that today. They said, Trump, keep kicking ass. Israel said, Trump, keep kicking ass. And Trump's like, we're negotiating while all the troops move into place, right? All right, so Pentagon is preparing to deploy about 3,000 troops from the Army's 82nd Airborne Division to the Middle East, adding to the thousands of Marines already headed to the region to assist with operations in Iran. This week, maybe the next day or two, we will see the Marine Expeditionary Unit, the MU, which will be in place in the ready to go. All right. Now, will they just like cruise through the Straits of Hormuz, through the gauntlet, and land on Kari Island? No. All right. No, that's dumb. But there is a possibility that there could be a launch from Saudi Arabian soil. All right. So we'll see. We'll see how this works out. Now, Trump has said that he was going to blast all the, their power stations. And the Iranians were like, if you blast us, we're going to blast everybody else. All right. So last night they blasted Israel. So Israel hit, I guess, they've been hitting now negotiations. You're like, Mike, they're negotiating. It's going to be okay. Well, they were negotiating before the 12-day war. All right, that didn't go well, did it? And they were negotiating before we came in and bombed the hell out of their nuclear facility. That didn't go well, did it? So negotiations, like I said, with the Middle Eastern baddies is bullshit, right? It's just, okay. It's like you're looking at the enemy in the face and they're saying, yeah, we're going to do this. And they're lying. And you're like, oh, really? Okay. And you're like, okay, go ahead and send the carriers. Go ahead and send the, we're going to blow the shit out of these guys. Yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah, you guys are like, you guys are good. All right, we're gonna work with you. We're gonna work with you until we blow the effing hell out of you, right? So that's what we got going on right now. No decisions have been made for troops to enter the country of Iran, according to two defense officials. Of course, they're not going to say they're planning that, right? But they've been planning this for a while, guys. But the buildup of troops is a drastic escalation in the U.S.-Israel war against the Iranian regime, and heightens the possibility that American servicemen will go into Iran. All right. Now the Iranians, so let's say we send 2,500 Marines in the first MU group that's probably coming in, if not already there, and 3,000 82nd Airborne troops. And then maybe 2 to 3 weeks later, we got the group coming from San Diego with another 2,500 Marines. So 5, 6, 10, 7, 8,000 troops. You're like, wow, that's a lot, right? How many troops does Iran have? 1.5 million. Right? Yeah, that's a little excessive odds. But let's go back to World War II. All right. Who had air superiority during World War II and annihilated the Germans? U.S. Right? So, and during Afghanistan, who had air superiority and annihilated the Taliban with just a bunch of horse soldiers? U.S. And when we went into Iraq from the north with a group of, a lot of people don't know this, but I've talked to these guys, with a group of Air Force, what are they, CCTs, I think, communication guys, a lot of Air Force CCTs and probably some Green Berets and so forth. I don't know. But basically, they were doing call for fire. And they came in from the north and they annihilated the Iraqis, right? It didn't matter. It was just a, few dozen guys. We had air superiority. We killed tens and tens, maybe hundreds of thousands. I don't know. All right. So how many hundreds of thousands can we kill with thousands of, troops that know how to call in fire? Yeah, a lot. So don't think nice view from the Sierra. No, it's not. I'm not in the Sierra. Sierra is like back that way, over there somewhere. Right. So I'm in a boutique hotel, right? I will not tell you the name because when I say names, I get strange phone calls and all kind of crazy shit. All right, so and then stuff showing up for me and security knocking on the door saying, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "You got to be kidding me, guys! You fell for the bullshit that came through the phone." So yeah, that's what happens, guys. You can be a truther if you want, but you got to put up a lot of bullshit, right? A lot of bullshit, and you learn how to deal with it. Boutique, lots of laughs. Okay, Trojan. All right, so yeah, it's a boutique. It's very lovely, right? And small, boutique, small for Vegas, right? It's made by a rich guy. I don't know. The food here is like spectacular. It's even better than the Trump Hotel, way better than the Trump Hotel. So I love the Trump Hotel though. The rooms are magnificent, but food barely good, right? You have to really go somewhere else. All right, so and maybe Don will hear about that. Yay, yo Don, get some good chefs over in your hotel, man. Come on. I like to stay there more often, but the food is like sucky. All right, U.S. Navy giant Tripoli set to enter war zone, may break Strait of Hormuz chokehold. All right, so Tripoli's basically been underway for quite some time. They're not saying exactly where it is. You probably can look it up, but it's very close. All right, if not already there, ready to go. So they have Ospreys, those those plane helicopter. They can rotate those rotors and they can turn it into a plane or be a helicopter. Pretty badass. And the Seahawk helicopters. Of course, they got the landing ship decks. They can drop the bow of the ship and the Marines just flood out. And or they open these huge water doors and the Marines just go out in their boats. That was cool. I went out on those. I was on one of those as a UDT, Underwater Demolition Team 12, way back in the day. I was a UDT guy before I was a SEAL, but we're all SEALs. But if you talk to like the SEAL Team 1 and SEAL Team 2 guys, they trashed us, and I was like, well, F that. You guys haven't done shit. And so all of us, former UDT, now SEAL guys, we're the ones kicking ass. So anyway, egos are never good, and even when they're SEALs. So U.S. President Trump has left the window open on whether he will send troops to Iran. And when asked, he said, "No, I'm not putting troops anywhere. If I were, I certainly wouldn't tell you, but I'm not putting troops anywhere." All right. So, he's a master at disinformation stuff. All right. So he'll tell you one thing and you got to figure it out. Right. What's he saying? Oh, he's going to put troops on the ground. All right. Okay. I got it. So Mike says, all right. So we'll see. 3 California-based warships carrying 2,500 Marines en route to Middle East. U.S.'s Boxer Amphibious Ready Group is transporting Marines who recently completed training for such deployment. All right. So 3 large San Diego-based ships, 2,500 Marines. They just finished their training and they're heading out there. And they have F-35B stealth fighter jets. Ooh, baby, they're looking out. Better be looking out there, you Iranian camo effers. All right, so 2008, oil spike, saw price rise dramatically to 147 per barrel. Why? Geopolitical tensions, conflicts in the Middle East, particularly involving Iran and Iraq. Heightened concerns about oil supply disruptions, increased demand, rapid economic growth in countries like China led to a surge in global oil consumption. Speculation, market speculation played a significant role, with traders driving prices higher based on anticipated market manipulation, future shortages. Right? So, yeah, they're doing it again. January 2008, prices hit $100 a barrel. And in March of 2008, 110, July 11th, 147. And in December, so July 11th, 2008, 147. Remember, this is Obama's time frame. Obama was like flying plane loads of cash to Iran. All right. So in December of 2008, it crashed all the way down to 41. It crashed over $100. Over $100, right? And then what happened? Remember, 2008, 2009, market crash. If oil goes up, market crash. All right. If oil goes up, spikes up, market crash. All right. And I'm going to show you that all the way back to the 80s. Ooh, oil goes up. That's right. Market crash. And what does silver do? Spike. Silver spike. Okay, you guys got it. All right, keep that up. All right, so causes of the 2020 oil crash. Right. 2020 oil crash was primarily caused by a dramatic drop in demand. That was the COVID-19 lie, right? Dramatic drop in demand due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which led to an oversupply of oil and resulted in prices plummeting, even going negative. How did it go negative? It went friggin' negative by $35, negative 35 per barrel. Now, why didn't I get in on that? All right. Who got in on that? Right. So, all right. So oil prices went negative for the first time in history ever in April 20th, 2020. All right. And then what happened? Stock market went up. Right. It crashed. And then it went up crazy. And what did silver do? It went up crazy. Right. Because oil did something different. It went down. Right. So when the market crashes, that means oil has gone up and spiked, and silver goes to the moon. All right. All right. So let's go even further into this in this educational process. What happened to the 2022 global oil rally? All right. Crude oil futures spent much of 2022 surging as demand for transportation oil fuels to travel returned after the pandemic. So it went negative $35 and then it spiked. It went all the way to 139, almost as high as it ever been before, which is 147, 41, whatever that was. So wow. Demand just came roaring back, and they had cut and cut and cut. And they're like, hold, like Mel Gibson, all right? And then bring up the spear and just hammer them, right? So hammer the people of the world. All right, so Brent crude futures rose above 139 per barrel in March as Russia invaded Ukraine. And then later rose again as buyers reckoned with the bottleneck of 2 years of refinery closures during the pandemic. Isn't learning fun? All right. China is the world's largest crude importer and second largest oil consuming nation, second only to the United States, which we make enough oil to allow, thanks to Trump, ship to everybody. All right. So, but in 2022, strict government intervention to contain coronavirus cases starkly reduced industrial and economic output. China's measures depressed oil demand by as much as 30-40%. And Europe's winter started off mild, curbing demand for different fuels, blah, 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 blah. All right. All right. So 2022 spike. Now let's look at this. Let's look at what the graphs say, right? And you're going to be like, oh my, there's such a coincidence in what you've been talking about, right? So just a coincidence. What you say is right. So here we go. Good God, all the way back to 1861. Are you kidding me? So here we have the price of barrel of oil all the way back. Jesus, all the way back to 1860. Like that was during the Civil War, and prices spiked all the way to $120. And what happened to the stock market? It crashed. All right, so after that, of course, that was during the Civil War. You say, yeah, well, there was a high demand for oil even back then. What the heck were they using oil back then for? I don't even friggin' know. But then we had the 70s, and we know about the 70s. Oil was like, I think $3 a barrel, something crazy. And then it spiked up to like 30, I think it was like 360. And then it spiked up to 36, like 10x. And what happened to the stock market? Yeah, it crashed. And it crashed for a long time. And so there you see that spike in the 70s and 80s, and the stock market went into stagflation, right? Stagflation. And the stock market did nothing for a long time. And then we have that little bit of spike right there in 2000. And what happened to the stock market? What happened to the stock market in 2000? That's right. It was a dot-com bust, right? But that was just a little baby. And of course, in 2008, 2009, we had a biggie, and we had a little pullback, and then another biggie, and then we had a biggie, grand recession, probably more like a depression. But anyway, it was bad. It was really bad. All right. So you see back here, spike in the 20s, right? 1920 and so, and it took a little while before the 29 stock market went down. Of course, then oil was very cheap back then because no one needed it because there was a depression, right? So, and then eventually people started using it, but it went just sideways forever until it got to the 70s, and then they're like, how can we manipulate this oil price and make money? Oh, we can everyone needs it now because we've made it so that everybody needs it now, and let's just restrict it. How about that? Can we do that? Yes, we can do that. We can work together and we can restrict it. These are the baddies saying this, of course, and they're like, well, who's in our way? Oh yeah, JFK. Yeah, he's not going to let us do this, so we have to kill him. Right? Just kill him, and then we can spike the prices. So that's what they did. All right, so the manipulators, they know how to manipulate, guys, and they're going to manipulate this stuff higher, and they're going to screw our economy. They always do this, right? I don't know. Maybe this time will be different. Maybe, I don't know. We got a different kind of guy that's in charge, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. But my guess is we're going to see Spikeola. All right, so this one I'm going to have to get a little creative here with the share. I can't share the whole screen. I just realized that. So I'm going to have to show you guys, and you're just going to have to remember, which is going to be really hard for a lot of you, but just take my word for it. So maybe when I get back home, I'll do this and show you guys this betterer, right? So now, if you look at way back, back to the 70s, early 70s, when I was a teenager, I was just barely a teenager in 2013. I was 13. I was 13 in 2013. And that's when the price of gas was $3.10 a gallon. Lo and behold, so that was 7 years later, it spiked to $36 and some cents, about 10x, right? And you just take my word for it. Stock market did really bad. In fact, what I'll do is I'll just stop sharing and I'll just pull it up, the next one, and we'll just go into it that way, right? Here's the SPX. Now the SPX, you see these spikes? That's in 08. This is the crude oil spiking. I think I already showed that. Damn it. What am I showing on the screen? Yep, that's SPX. Okay, so SPX, good. So we got to go all the way back, way back. Now look how you can't even tell. Look at that. You can't. It's like all the way back here. You couldn't even tell what the market's doing. Look at this. This is craziness. Almost up to 7,000. Well, came very close to 7,000. So I'm going to have to scooch it and push it over and tighten everything up. And scooch it higher. Look at these spikes that are coming. Oh my God. So we go back to the 70s. As you guys can see, there's that spike in oil prices and the market. So 72, remember I said around 73, that's when I remember the price of gas was like, remember my parents would buy a gallon of gas for like 25 cents. I think that's what it was. And then it like doubled to 50 cents. Wow. So now it's like $5 if you get regular unleaded, or no, it's about $5 depending on where you get it. So I got just at $5 at Costco in Nevada before I came to Las Vegas. Here in Las Vegas, I think the price of premium is probably around $6. I haven't looked yet because I like to get my gas where it's very, very cheap, right? At the outside the city where they have those truck stops. That's where I get my gas, right? That's the cheapest. All right, so now the S&P was like around 121. It spiked up 121, right? Way back in the 70s when I was a little boy. So then we had the oil spike, and what happens when oil spikes? Market go down. So 124 all the way down to 62. All right, 50% haircut. Boom. All right. So just a couple years later. All right. No, like a year later. Bam. So that's about the pattern. About a year. Oil spikes hard. It went 10x, and then stock market went down 50%. Right. So this is normal. This is the way these things work. Now, what happened with silver? Silver and gold. All right, let me see it. Put that away so I don't get confused, because they're very easily confused. All right. So now we go over to 379 regular here. Where's here spot? Pocket. That's random. 375, 379 regular here. But people from all over the world, dude. Come on. All right. So let me go into the silver thing. And I'm just going to, I don't want to like bore you guys and do every one of those. So that gives you an idea of how quickly these things go bad, right? So now I'm going to show you long-term silver, right? You're just going to take my word because I don't want to go back and forth. I had these so that they were all lined up. So you're just going to have to go do your own research or take my word for it, all right? So what is it? Oil spikes, market crash, silver spike, right? Silver spike, what causes silver spike? Oil go high. Oil go high, all right? So again, back here in the 70s, all right? Back in, let's go, I can't go all the way back to 72. Let's just do like just before this thing like blew up, right, to all-time highs. So it was down around, I think I saw around 4 something, 55, 5. Do I hear 5? Do I hear 5? So 78, let's see if we can get 79. 79, January 79, it was less than $5, so 487. And then in January 80, so 1 year, it went to over 50. So this is a weekly, but the daily would take it to over $50, guys. So 10x. Wow. Oil go up 10x, silver go up 10x. And so I don't think we're going to see the same situation. We're going to see, because there's been a lot of silver manipulation for a long time. Now, this is the cup and handle that we talked about for a long time. You see this spike back in 80. What happened with oil? Spiked. What happened with the market? Went down. All right. So we have this amazing thing in March 11. All right. So we see silver at $8, and then we see it go up to 50 again. All right. So not that 10x, but a little over a 5x. So we saw a 10x, we saw a 5x. So put them both together and you get a 15x. No, that's probably what we're going to get. But you see this long term. So this is 1980 all the way over here to 2011, 20, 30, 31 years or so. All right. So then you see the handle, the cup, and the handle. And when you see a cup and handle, you're going to see market go boom. All right. Silver market goes boom. All right. What happened here? Oil prices, as we know, spiked, right? And market goes down. This was back in 2022, like I showed you guys, or talked about anyway. And now we're seeing what's happening. So it takes about a year. Remember, the market go down when silver spike. And have we seen the top of the oil? I don't think so. So we may see oil go a lot higher, guys. We may see it go to all-time highs. So remember, all-time highs 147. We may see prices 150, maybe even 179, $200 a barrel. Wow, that's going to suck, right? So, and what is that going to suck about a year later for the stock market? Oil goes up, market go down, all right? And what does silver do? Now, silver is already spiked higher. Silver is already done as spiky, right? So silver is going to go cray-cray up, because the demand for silver is at historic highs. And it's also a way we put money, we save our future, hard work that we've done for all of our lives, that a lot of you guys have in the stock market, that's going to go where? Yeah. How many times I've been telling you guys to get into silver? Hello. You're going to miss out, guys. And you're going to get hurt. And you're going to be working I don't know. Probably not McDonald's, because I think everybody's figured out McDonald's has got human meat in it. I don't know. Maybe that's what I've heard. I don't know for sure. I got to say that for YouTube. So anyway, there's been people that have been studying that. It's basically definitely some manufactured meat, right? Now, manufactured meat in, I forget which state just put it out, but they have said for the next 5 years, I think it's Montana, it might be Montana. I might be mistaken, but one of the states said no more manufactured meat for 5 years. 5-year moratorium, no manufactured meat. All right. All right. So what have we learned today? If oil go up, market go down, silver go boom. All right. So simple. All right. Do the research yourself. Just go look. Go pull up the charts. It's amazing. All right. So now let's look at home sales. Home sales hit a wall, right? Now, what did I say about 2017? All right. What happened when silver went down? Oil went down. Market went up. Silver go down. Right? So there's opposites, all right? But if you see the trend, if you see like we're seeing right now, a pullback in silver before the next massive pump higher, you know, back when it was $5 and it went to 50, that wasn't the time to buy more. It was the time to take profits. All right. I took profits on the last big pump, 2011, and boy, did that save my life in many different ways. Because the you know, there's many of us that have you know, had our lives, you know, ruined by you know, the deep state. I was one of them. And but because I had silver and I had gold, I'd collected it. I wish I listened to my intuition that said, get more. I was like, I got a lot. And I just didn't listen. And so then the IRS, which I didn't owe any money to, because the, you know, CIA is like, go get him. And they use their little puppet, the IRS, to destroy people. So they did a pretty good job on me, but they didn't realize that I had a lot of silver and gold, right? Because I didn't have that. There's no bank statements. It's just I had it, right? So that got me through very tough times. I was able to survive. I made a comeback, and here I am staying at a boutique hotel in Las Vegas now, so, with red windows. All right, I'm back. All right. All right. So now a lot of you, I was saying, don't get rid of your house. Get rid of your house. If you're going to sell your house, you better be selling it now. You better not be buying a house. Right. So what a lot of people do? They bought houses in 2022. A lot of people. Oh, that's going to suck. That's going to suck going forward. Bad. All right. What could you have done with that money? You could have bought silver like I did. Right. So I rented some nice places, but I wasn't throwing money into mortgages. Right. And that's very good because I bought copious amounts of silver, gold, and platinum. And so things are looking pretty good for Miguel, right? All right, so Jefe, for the Jefe, home sales hit a wall, falling 18% in a single month. So unfortunately, another thing that people do outside of dumping money into the stock market, which is going to get stolen from them soon, they've put a lot of money into their homes. They bought homes and their home prices went up and they felt really good about that. Right. Soon they're not going to feel so good. All right. Remember 2008, 2009, a lot of people didn't feel good about those home prices back then. Yep, that's coming, and that's coming with a vengeance back again. It's already started. So if you did not listen to buying silver and you bought a house, oh my God, and you probably put everything else in the stock market, it's gonna suck for you bad. And I'm not laughing at you. I'm just like, you didn't listen. You didn't listen to Mike, right? And you don't have to listen to me. Just do a little research. It's like this crazy remote viewing Navy SEAL friggin' guy said that I should not buy a house. F that. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna put everything down on a house. Okay, you effed around and you're gonna find out. All right, so let's look at what this gentleman has to say about these houses that are going to go down unbelievably in price. So you could have sold at that crazy high and made a lot of money on your house and used that money to buy silver, which I know a lot of you did. Good job, good job, good job, good job, good job. All right, so and I see some of you guys in the chat are talking about it. Good job. All right, so you probably didn't just listen to me. Maybe you didn't even know me, but you were smart enough to know that, yeah, this is not a good thing when houses spike like this. All right.
Home sales just crashed a fifth in a single month. That's the worst since housing was crawling out of the 2008 financial crisis. Some regions were even worse. Sales in the Midwest fell 34%. The Northeast was down 45% in a single month. Last one to sell, turn out the lights.
Keep talking, dude. All right. All right. Yeah, I'm in a boutique hotel with crazy, screwy internet. Go ahead.
87,000, which is just half what they were during the pandemic, as 150,000 lower than 2019, when there were 20 million fewer people in the country. Oddly, homes trying to sell are up an impressive 4.9% year on year, while prices are now down 7% on the year. So there's more homes for sale, they're cheaper, but nobody's buying. So what's the problem? Easy mortgage rates. They are too high for buyers, while sellers are locked in too cheap COVID-era mortgages. So when COVID hit, the Federal Reserve printed almost $7 trillion.
Yeah, it put like crack money out there. So all this crack money went out and everybody bought everything. They bought houses, they bought crypto, they bought, I don't know, S&P, ETFs, they get they sent funds to their, I don't know, because I never used them. I've always done my own investing, but some people use an investor, and investors will tell, well, someone that manages your money, they're always going to tell you what you want to hear about your portfolio. And that's that it's going up. Don't worry, it's going up. And, it goes up. It just keeps going up, and it has gone up for a long time. But we're about to see that 50% market crash you saw back during the last spike in oil. That's going to come around and seem like real cheap, right? That was going to be a good deal back then, because we're going to see 80%. That's Mike's. I've been forecasting that for a while. Whatever level that we're at, that from that top level down will be 80%. Now, could we see another major spike? It looks like there is a possibility. And if we look back through history, you see a pretty good correction, and then another massive spike to the all-time high. It's like we did in 2020, 2008, right? 2008. 8 years later, it reached almost the same level. Almost 8 years later, almost the same level. Then it crashed, and then they threw money out there. Here, the helicopters were flying, money was flying out the back, and people picking it up. And I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna buy that. I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna put a lot of money back into the market and pump it up. And it shouldn't have been pumped up, because now it's got to correct to that point and beyond. All right. So, because all of the excess that was put back into the market that was about ready to get cleaned out has now got to go to that point and clean out again. It's kind of like, you you just clean the surface of your toilet, and then you look down in the bowl and it's like, oh, that's disgusting down there. That's kind of like what our markets are like right now. So disgusting, have to be cleaned out. And it's not my toilet bowl, but some toilet bowls. I've seen some toilet bowls like, nobody's cleaned this for a long time. That's disgusting. I'm not even going to use that. So it's going to be pretty substantial, the pullback and devastation that's going to come. It's going to wipe out a lot of people. Will they? Because we've heard of Nasara Jasara, gold reserves, everybody gets money, blah, 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 right? That's cool if you survive to that point, right? So that's the key. You need to survive all the way to that point. Rents are up. Where are you at, dude? The rents are up. Rents are coming down everywhere. All right, so rents are coming down, crashing in a lot of places. Real estate prices are crashing in a lot of places. Some places maybe are still inflated. It's kind of like, some bubbles go higher than other bubbles, and then they pop. And all of that sudsy stuff just comes crashing down. Right? And that's where some of you are at, I guess, if you still see prices going up. Probably a good time to negotiate, right? But it's up to you guys. Yeah, gas prices are way up. And what happens when prices of gas spikes? Market go down, right? And silver go what? Spike, right? So anyway, that's the way it's always been. And that's the way I like it. That's the way, I like it. So yeah, I was a disco boy. But 78 is when September 78, I turned 18. My girlfriend and I, we had dinner with, my parents took me out for my birthday. And back then, in South Carolina, you only had to be 18 to drink. Of course, I've been drinking a long time before that, but so I, my dad, he treated me to a great dinner and alcohol, whatever. And so we drove to this one place in downtown Columbia, South Carolina, which was like the disco place that all my younger friends have been going to for a while, especially the hot girls. They got their IDs, and I was like, dang, can't wait to go there. And so we went there, and we drove up, and they just closed it. They just closed it. And guess what? I went into the Navy like the next week. So I missed the disco revolution. Right? I never got to dance a disco. Never. It sucked. I still miss those times. Disco. I miss disco. All right. That's the way. I like it. So anyway, Last Dance. That's right. Last Dance. Last Dance for Love. And yeah, there was a lot of good tunes. Why? What happened? What happened to that music? It's crazy. They came out with rap. It's like, what the hell? It's like, Jesus. You love disco? Yeah. I still like that music. I play it occasionally. It comes out and I'm like, yeah, cool. And but rock and roll. I'll always be a rock and roller. Love rock and roll. I still throw in some Donna Summer. Yeah. Last Dance. Yeah, she like went down the dark road. You remember hearing about Donna Summer? She like went out like demonic, right? Some kind of crazy shit. And then she got Jesus saved her. Wow. So yeah, she was one of the few that got saved. A lot of them went down that dark route in the music business, and never came back. Bad Company. Yep. Absolutely. Gas is about $3.49 a gallon in Kentucky. Not too bad. You're still playing drums? How long's that been? I lived in Columbia, South Carolina, about a 5-minute walk from Lake Irmo. Wow. Worked Columbia Mall. Yep, I remember Columbiana Mall. I went there a lot of times when I was a teenager. That was the place you used to go when you were a teenager. You went to the mall. Now you go to the mall, you get shot. So don't go to the mall anymore. If there's any malls left, most malls are like gone. CIA ran music industry, absolutely. Yeah, my late son and I used to do a lot of shows on that. He was really, very informed about that, and brought up some really good information about that. All right, so Israel, U.S. strike gas facilities in Iran's Isfahan, possibly triggering retaliation against Gulf. All right, so the still going on, guys. So this is today, early this morning. Trump announces productive talks with Iran, postpones military strikes for 5 days, except, I guess, for some places. Right? Iran Foreign Ministry and Parliament Speaker say no talks have happened. After Trump said, speaking with a top person in Iran, says, we'll just keep bombing if Iran talks fail. Trump says Hormuz would be jointly controlled. Russia and Pakistan step up as potential mediators, engage with Tehran. There's a lot of different groups, I guess, a lot of European countries are trying to mediate. I guess Italy is trying to mediate, and several other countries, like 8 to 10 different countries trying to mediate. So there's a lot of people talking to a lot of people that are not making the right decisions, I don't think. So we'll see. Israel is not seeing an imminent end to the war, right? U.S. says Israel will be pleased after the conference. I guess we'll see. Right? Iran publishes broad list of potential regional targets. So they talked about hitting where they make water out of salt water. And they talked about, taking out all the water distillation plants or whatever. And also the oil, infrastructure that's everywhere. So if they start doing that, it's just like they're going to shut down this stuff even more, guys. So I don't know what's going on, if they can keep these drones from flying, but it seems like they haven't been able to do that. And these missile strike hit, like I was talking about earlier, Israel, in the area where they have their nuclear scientists and so forth, and blew the buildings up right next to where their nuclear laboratories are, and possibly killed or maimed or something a lot of their nuclear fissionists. And so Israel's done the same thing to Iran. So tit for tat is going on back and forth. So International Energy Administrative Executive Director warns of 1970s level oil shocks, right? Like I was pointing out, no country will be immune to the effects of this crisis if it continues to go in this direction. Russia mediates in call with Tehran. Market response on the day. All right, so this was yesterday. Oil down, yields down, stocks up, right? What happened today? Oil up, market down, right? So if this continues, the market continues to go down. I think it's going to go down the rest of the week, but we'll see, right? Unless something very, very dramatic happens tomorrow, the next day, or the day after that, or this weekend, or next week, right? To stop this, because Trump said 5 days, so that's 5 days from Monday. So that takes us to the end of the week. So they don't like to do things during market time because it makes the market go down, right? They like to, keep the market up as long as they can until it does crash. And so who knows, maybe this weekend we'll see some troop movements to open up the Strait of Hormuz, and then more strikes, to everything in Iran. So they're loading up the planes, patching up any little holes they might have somewhere from missile strikes or whatever going off near them, and gassing them up because they got plenty of gas, right? Our military has plenty of gas and fuel, and they've stocked it up. And they're going to be able to go in and do wave after wave after wave of bombing. They need to figure out some kind of defensive posture posturing where they can like knock these drones down, locate and knock down these drones. Because the old system, they have these Patriot missile systems. It's old technology, and it's not working that well. These missiles that go out to strike down these $10,000 drones are $2 million a pop, and they're missing. They're sending out like, 5, 6 Patriot missiles, and they're missing. All of them are missing. That's $12 million for a $10,000 drone, and it goes in and hits its target, right? So this is happening out there, guys. They're not talking about it, but people in the know have been talking about it. So I've seen guys. I think Sean Ryan had a guy on that he was talking about. He had technology that basically sent out a thump of a material that was like, dollars, not millions of dollars, but each one of these like slugs that went out, and they could send out, fill the sky with these slugs, and it would just like take out all the drones. They keep doing that over and over. AI controlled everything. I don't know why they're not using that technology. It's like, well, we know why, because the military industrial complex has to make money. Right? So, and that's the crazy way it is. It is very frustrating. I've seen it for years. There's a good side of that where they come in with some new technologies that make our life simpler, make us more effective, help make us more effective in our war fighting. But then there's another side of that where they come in with some of these projects that are very, very costly. I'll tell you one of them, the Law Rocket, complete piece of shit, right? They made probably hundreds of millions of dollars on that piece of shit rocket system. You basically popped it out, you pushed the top button, and you couldn't hit anything with it because the sighting on it was like shit. Right? You could take RPG-7. When I was at SEAL Team 6, we got a bunch of RPG-7s and their rocket launchers and so forth. I could hit anything I wanted with that. And it was a fraction of a one use done Law Rocket, which you couldn't hit anything with, right? So RPGs, very, very effective. It's a shape charge that comes in and punches through thick metal, right? They use it to like penetrate tanks if they hit it the right spot. All right, I'm not going to say where, but they've taken down helicopters with it. Somalis took down helicopters, Black Hawk down with RPGs, right? And RPG rocket is like, I don't know, hundreds of dollars. It's like nothing, right? And the rocket launcher is reusable. I mean, a couple $1,000, $1,200, $2,000 at the most. It's crazy. And a Law Rocket was like, I don't know, friggin' $15,000 a pop. And that's back when I was in the military. Bullshit. So bullshit stuff out there that somebody was getting rich on, and some admiral or some army general or whatever promoted it, and then got out of the military and then worked for those companies and made millions. So that's the way this bullshit system works, right? So we have to overcome that system, and that's one of the things I think that Trump is doing quite well, right? All right, it's take a guess at where it is. So maybe do a little research and you'll find out. All right, so they're not very successful in stopping a lot of these missiles, guys, from Iran, and that's bullshit, right? They should be knocking down all of them, but again, they're using these outdated friggin' missile systems. A lot of them, like I said, don't hit their targets, and that's and they lied about it, kind of like what they did with the COVID vaccine, right? They lied about its effectiveness. It was never that effective, right? So that BS has to be cleaned up. If we're going to win these wars and win them very effectively, very quickly, we have to have the right gear, and we can't keep using bullshit because somebody's making money on it. That's what we've used for a long time. And we look, the figures are that we knocked down this percentage of the missiles. Well, look at Israel. They're like crushed with missile strikes. Hello. So I think even Israel developed a friggin' missile system, which obviously is not working either. So I don't know, guys. What do you think? You think that there's like some manipulation going on out there still? Hello. All right. So what did we learn today? Oil prices go up. Stock prices go down. Silver goes up. Right? Very simple. Very simple. Right? So what are you going to do? I'm going to go buy a house. Okay. Right. All right, guys. Lots of love. Stay in the love vibration. And I'll see you guys next time.